EOM Business Network. So much for one broadcast.
Hello there, it's a beautiful day and welcome to yet another package of the EOM Business Network. Oh yes, the EOM Business Network is a weekly in-depth report and analysis on the Nigerian economy as it relates to operators of businesses and the evolving market. I am Elkanah Oganovo Mowarin. Thanks for joining us. On this week's package of the program, we shall take a look at the electricity and power generating sector in Nigeria. We'll be talking to the general manager, who is also a director of Clarke Energy Nigeria Limited, a relatively young but fast-growing company. Sit back now as we do a face-to-face with Mr. Patrick Nzekwe. It is deep and incisive. Stay with us.
Clarke Energy started very recently in Nigeria. They have been part of an international organization with headquarters in Liverpool, in England. But in Nigeria, we're quite new. We started off about 2006 to register a company that can utilize the abundant gas resources we have in Nigeria, which up till then was being flared, wasted, and burnt. So this company is looking at economics of energy, which will produce power with gas. You reduce a lot of that flared gas and add some money into the economy of Nigeria. And that's how we started. Clarke Energy, as I said earlier, is an international organization that are very keen to help the community to improve power, especially in Africa, that power is very limited. So our vision is to see Clarke Energy become one of the leading companies in the provision of energy in Nigeria, utilizing the waste, the earlier wasted gas that could have been wasted but now converted into use. Our core values are quality, integrity, and accountability at all times. Clarke Energy is in 17 or even 18 countries in the world right now. We, as I said, started in UK, where we have our honorable gentleman called Jim Clarke. He set up the company, has a wide vision of how the company can grow in the UK, and they've been able to diversify into different countries. As of now, we're talking of 18 countries. I'm talking of Britain itself. We have our company in France, we have in Australia, we have in New Zealand, and so on, so many of them. So the main purpose or the main focus of the company is utilization of gas in powering electricity using a GE product, a very highly qualified GE product called GE Yembacha engine. It is this engine that converts gas into energy, the energy to drive machinery, energy to give lighting, and energy to be able to give you heat to use for hot water in the hospitals and all that. The usage is very diversified. Yeah, Nigeria is doing well. You know, some young people who are eager to meet up the world think that Nigeria is too slow, things don't work. I remember one funny music that somebody sang some time ago and said Nigeria is jaga jaga. But if you look back and see how Nigeria has grown over the last 20 years. You will agree with me that the growth is phenomenal, because here is a country that was mainly agro-based. They've gone now into a situation where they are doing a lot of technological improvements, and buildings, industries, pharmaceuticals, they're all growing. But it's a big country. People don't feel the impact as much. But I can tell you that the power in Nigeria has grown from being a minor thing to everybody, even in rural areas. Everybody wants power now. Many years ago, nobody knew much about energy, and this energy will grow to a stage where Nigeria will become one of the top in Africa in terms of energy. At the moment, we're probably about 3 or 4 behind South Africa, but we see ourselves growing in the right direction, and I believe we will make it. The PHCN has a very good beginning in the days of Electricity Corporation of Nigeria, ECN. Then the customer base was very small, mainly elite living in the cities. And as PHCN, as it was later called, grew, we found that the growth of development in Nigeria is so much, especially since the creation of states, breaking states into 12, then 19, then 36 states. During this growth, every new capital wants to have facilities, want to install electricity, want to have offices, and all this, the rate of development is so high that PHCN could not cope. Coupled with the fact of our Nigerian attitude, there are people who a lot of people mention as vandal, people who are looking at their own economic base. They are ready to dismantle electric pole for the purpose of selling the cables to make a few bucks. Those are really the people who have held the PHCN back. Again, PHCN suffered a little bit as a result of the military. And during the military era, they were not spending money on development of power. Meanwhile, they are creating states, and therefore the development was faster than PHCN, and that's what has happened. I think with a lot of emphasis now on power, within a very short time they will catch up with the development of Nigeria. That actually was the main 2 reasons why NEPA, as it was called, was unable to meet the requirements of the people. Corruption is a national malaise, and as you know, it's very easy to start a habit. It's very difficult to clear it off. But we in Clarke Energy pride ourselves with the fact that we are incorruptible. And I mean that with all sense of responsibility. In our company, we are affiliated with GE, General Electric, which is #1 company in the world electrically. We cannot afford to give bribe to anybody. We do not give bribe to government officials. We do not give bribe to the tax authorities. We rather go to wherever they need us to do. And again, we do not give bribe in order to make people patronize our products. We tell you what it is as it is, and when you fail to accept it, we'll let you go. Just like we talked about corruption, people are looking for easy way out of making money, but it's not always the correct thing to do. And we know that there have been multiple taxations. Some of them are not really legitimate. Some of them are touts looking for money. We have seen touts come here and say they have the authority to close us down. We haven't paid money, or that we have not paid this fee, or we not paid that fee. As far as we know we have paid, we say, look, go to hell. And when we put pressure, really, they run away. But if you give up, you lose, you pay money. So it's actually the problem of the community, the society, trying to look for an easy way. Many of the problems we have are tariff build, cost of materials. For instance, if you're shipping things from abroad, and you know Nigeria is still developing in terms of infrastructure and building materials, many of the companies import raw materials. Now, the cost of raw materials, the tax, duty, and port clearance charges, they're all very high at the moment and does not support industrial growth. I will really take the opportunity to plead with the government to know that it's not really the money you collect today that matters. If you create an enabling environment for people to operate willingly, the more the merrier. More companies will join, and therefore you'll make more money by numbers than making all the money with a small figure. We can do a lot better. That's one major thing that affected us. Then power. Cost of running business on power is very high. As you know, I'm just talking to you about diesel and gas. Gas is cheaper, but the capital cost of putting gas engine is very, very high. The only thing is that if you eventually do and you have gas, you will recoup your money. But supposing you don't have gas, or the gas is not in the route, the corridor you want it to be, then you have a problem. You will not be able to. You run at 60% of your operating load goes on power, and you have very little to give to your staff, and there's so much to do. The country is huge. The income from our oil resources have been high. So when you're talking of rebasing, it's not really the true picture of where we are. The fact is that our income from our natural resources can outweigh that of other countries. If you look back to before independence, I read in the papers where there are a lot of things deficient. We don't have such money. But now that the oil price have gone down and we are going from about $100 per barrel down to 45 of last week, you do a lot of calculations and arithmetic to be able to convince people that you are still at the top. But then that's for the politicians to do. For me, the ordinary man in the street has not yet felt the impact of Nigerian improvement in the basin of our economy. So until the things start to trickle into Nigeria, Nigerians feeling better, more employment, more power, security, less agitation in the north, and everybody being happier, then we join the Committee of Nations to look back and say, yes, we are developed. Because for me, the basin of the economy has something to do with development of the country as a whole. If we as Nigerians are not getting comfort in what's going on, then all those will be theoretical. We're looking at the practical aspect. That's what I'll be happy to have. Very good question. I'm very happy to tell you that even though we started our business here in 2006, which is just about 9 years, going to 9 years from now, the impact has been quite reasonable. We're so far having up to 300 megawatts to captive industry. I'm not talking of, if you put 300 megawatts in the national grid, it's very little. But when you talk of companies that would have been suffering as a result of power, now having an easy-to-reach energy supplied 24 hours a day with less maintenance and cost also down because they are using gas, it's a lot. We have, as of now, over 75 industries in Nigeria that are hooked to gas through Clarke Energy. And some are 1 megawatt, some are 5 megawatts. One of our biggest customers has 33 megawatts of electricity, powering their own industry. And Clarke Energy is giving them support by sending our technical people, doing operations and maintenance, making sure the engines are fit for purpose at all times. So by so doing, the effect has been quite multiplying in terms of day-to-day living in Lagos and other parts of Nigeria. Our office is located here in Ikeja now. We used to be in Apapa, but we have now gone further to open an office in Port Harcourt. And even in Port Harcourt now, we are getting more customers towards the direction of Aba. And we are talking to people in Onitsha, and we like to be in Enugu. We are talking to companies in Calabar and Uyo. As you can see, it's a large area. We're also looking at Kano, Kaduna. Although they don't have gas now, but there's an effort to take gas there. By the time we have those, you will see that Clarke Energy will be very much useful to the Nigerian economy in terms of using the otherwise abandoned gas, which was underground and not being used. So we're very happy that we're helping to make money. And if you think of it, gas is a supply from Nigerian Gas Company, which is part of NNPC. So when you're talking of money paid into the national coffers, it's not just the NNPC that bringing money. Gas also is bringing money because we're selling gas and using gas to produce electricity. It doesn't have to be fuel, that diesel or petrol that we're selling. Gas is a very major aspect, and it will get more because they say that we have more gas in Nigeria than oil. So as the economy grows, you might find that as we deplete the oil, gas will be taken over as an income earner, foreign exchange earner for Nigeria. Okay, very good. Yeah, others, we have a lot of people in competition that do sort of engines and power. But what is different from us is that we do not sell power. We don't sell generator. We sell solution. When you have a problem, when your company needs to be resolved in terms of power, when you're not sure how to meet up with the NEPA expectations or the power problems, you invite us, we'll go to your site, we'll carry out a survey, a power survey, electrical survey of what you have, what you're likely to have in the future. We'll put it up together and use it to design a solution for you. A solution that will make you be completely independent of NEPA. And I mean it, all the customers I told you, disconnect NEPA. It's not a standby, it's a prime mover. Then NEPA, if they like, can be a standby. When the gas is not there, for instance, they can go to NEPA. Otherwise, the engine is running, it's cheap, the gas is available, they just run. So what we have is a solution, and we send our people who are ever standing to provide service on the clock. That's why probably you don't have any of our staff here.
I was built to be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, stand up.
We are doing repairs, we are doing minor overhauls, but we are getting to stages now where engines are getting to major overhauls, and we've started developing the capability for that in country at the moment. One of our major customers, we need to always give credit to some of these customers. This is the Flour Mills Group. This is one of our, I think this is our biggest customer in Nigeria at the moment. They've got about 60 megawatts installed in the group. At the site in the Flour Mills in Apapa, they have 33 megawatts installed in that site. They own backhoe as well. We have close to 20 megawatts installed in backhoe as well. They have other plants in Agbara, in Ibadan, and they've always been consistent with Clarke Energy. They have always been consistent, not because of anything, but because of the quality, because of the efficiency of the engine, and of course also because of the quality of the after-sales service that they've always got from Clarke Energy. This is Chivita, Chi Nigeria Limited. We started also with this. We started with 2 engines here. At the moment as we speak, in the group, they have 11 engines. So they've got engines, and this all derives from, number one, the benefits they get from the engine, the level of efficiency, and the quality of support they also get from the after-sales support from Clarke Energy. So right from their Ajao estate installation, where they make the juice and process some of their farm products, they currently have 5 engines on that site now, and they've translated that to their farm, the Ajala farm along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. They've translated that to their poultry processing farm in kilometer 51, again on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And they've translated that to a new factory they've just acquired now. It's Comax, used to be ATM. They've translated that as well. So this also speaks about repeated orders from the customers, which says a lot on how satisfied the customers have always been. This is Guinness. This is one of our another special applications. In Guinness, we've got a CHP installation, 9 megawatt in Ogba and 9 megawatt in Benin, and they are both Guinness Ogba factory. They do both recover steam and chilling. So there's an absorption chiller on one of the 3 megawatt engine to provide chilling for their process, and there's a boiler on 2 of the 3 megawatt engines also to provide steam also for the process. Mr. Patrick is here. He knows how much this has saved Guinness, because when he used to be in Guinness, he was selling millions for diesel, I think, for that day. So this is also a very good project for us to show. This is one of our very good customers.
I can assure you whatever we can do for the Nigerian Society of Engineers to grow, we'll do it, because we know that if Nigerian Society of Engineers is growing, Clarke Energy will be growing. And you know, Wale did a very good presentation. But one thing I just want to achieve before we close is that there is no country in the world that will say because we have power, we solve our power problem. We don't need these generators. In UK, which is where we are all coming from in terms of development, as we speak, we have over 1,000 engines of Clarke Energy.
Yes.
Yeah, this is from us. I'm sure you'll find a place in the office to keep the link. Remember that the 18th of August, the President of NSC was here. We had this lovely engagement.
Thank you very much.
That is what most people worry about in terms of gas. Once they hear gas, the next thing is explosion and danger of burning people. Incidentally, it's now the least fear if you're using the kind of installation we have. The reason for that is that wherever there is a sign of safety concerns, engineers try to work around it to improve that process. before gas gets into the pre-system, we have a sort of soundproofing to make sure there's no leakage before you commission the engine. Then we have gas detectors within the vicinity where you store the engine. If there's any small gas leaking out in the premises where you have this engine, this gas detector will trip the mechanism and shut down the engine. Until you prove it and sort it out, it will never start the engine again. So it's a safety device. And we have also a gas monitor, which is on the line as you're passing the power to where it's going to be used until all the gas is finished. So the engine is designed to work with maximum safety. There's no incidence of gas leaking, except people who are careless and open a valve and leave it. But as far as the engine is concerned, they have 3 different gas control mechanisms to ensure there's safety on the gas line. And even the national line, one thing I didn't mention to you is that this gas is not just something you go and buy like a cylinder of butane gas you use in the kitchen. We actually have gas that is coming from Escravos in Warri, from Port Harcourt, from Bayelsa, from Warri, all connected in a gas pipeline, which is delivered from Delta right through to Lagos on the ground. You may not believe it, it's over 300 kilometers of pipeline. They come from Lagos at the toll gate. That's where the thing is now distributed. One line is going to Ikeja Industrial Estate through Obakran and all that. Another one goes to Apapa, which powers flour mills and Honeywell and companies around it. Dangote. Another one goes through Ilukbeju to mile 2. You won't see it, it's on the ground. But when you come to your industry where you want it, you connect just like you connect NEPA or water in your house. You connect, you pay the gas suppliers, which is either Shell or GasLink for Lagos, will come and connect you, put a meter for you again, safe meter that doesn't have any problems, and that will supply gas to your industry. Should there be any failure in terms of safety, the gas supply line will trip even before getting to your factory. When it gets to your factory, it's now protected 24 hours a day. Patrick is primarily an engineer trained in UK to do mechanical engineering, but in between is also a marine engineer, trained as a marine engineer and well certified. And Patrick has been in the industry for about 30 years now, nearly 30 years. During that time, he's gone through the pupillage of being a maintenance engineer, works engineer, project engineer, eventually became a manager of all those, and was last a chief engineer in a very highly renowned company before he decided to retire and go into private. And Clarke Energy is a company he has taken over to work with in the last 8 years or so.
Well, and this is where we bring down the curtains on this week's package of the EOM Business Network. Thanks for staying with us. And just in case you missed out on this program, then you can still join us on the superhighway, www.eomcommunications.com. And so on behalf of the rest of the production team, I remain Elkanah Ogenovo Mowari. Same time, same channel next week. We'll trust you join us.